Hello, my name is Kaylee Colston, and this is my video presentation over the review of my 8 observations that I conducted over the semester. First off, my first 3 observations were kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade. I conducted these at Lone Oak Primary School. Now, this school only housed grades K through 2nd, which of course are the 3 grades that I observed. For kindergarten, I observed Miss Burdett. I absolutely loved observing Miss Burdett. I loved how she ran her classroom, and it was so kid-friendly. I loved it. I also loved how she handled things that happened in the classroom. For example, one girl put way too much glue in her notebook, like she did the whole entire page covered with glue from a glue stick. And all she did was just like, oh, she's very friendly about it, and she made some joke about it. And she's like, well, now let's set this to dry, and she put it up somewhere to dry. And I just found that very appropriate for the situation, because I know in my past I've had teachers that would yell and embarrass the student for something like that. And I mean, these are just kindergartners here. They're still young. Some of them know better and some of them don't. And so I think she handled that situation just perfect. For 1st grade, I observed Miss Scheisler. Anyways, I loved how she reviewed the worksheets. She gave the students an assignment, some worksheet to fill out, but before just handing them out, she reviewed it with them. She put them under the camera, and so it was on the board, and she reviewed, all their options to put in the blanks, and made sure each student understood what each word meant prior to handing the worksheets out. And I thought that was a really good idea, because not only did it avoid a lot of questions from popping up in the middle of the students doing the worksheet, but it also saved time, because instead of her having to answer the same question over and over again for each student, she covered it all right in the beginning. For 2nd grade, I observed Miss Abshur. I loved observing her classroom, because 2nd grade is one of the grades I would like to teach. The kids were a little bit rowdy at times, but she handled it very well and very professionally, and I admired that. Not once did she lose her cool or anything. She remained calm and collected, and made sure the students, she told them what to do and made sure they got back on track, and they did. After, all she had to do was just remind them or ask them what they're supposed to be doing, and they would go do it, and she handled that so well. For grades 3rd and 4th, I observed at Lone Oak Elementary School, which is right down the road from Lone Oak's primary school. For 3rd grade, I observed Miss Kersey. My favorite thing about her class was when she gave the students time to look in their new textbooks. They received new textbooks that day, and they were on the table for the first time that year. And what started out as giving them 5 minutes to look through it ended up being like 15 to 20 minutes, because the students were so fascinated by this book. I mean, and it's not just a book, I mean, it's a textbook. And so they were still so fascinated, and it was just so crazy hearing all the students, saying wow and oh my gosh, and showing their friends things they found that they thought were cool, and calling her over, Miss Kersey over, to show her, oh, look at this, I thought that was really neat. And I really thought it was cool that she gave them more time, like 15 minutes to look through it. I remember when I got new textbooks and, the classroom when I was younger, like, the teachers they didn't give us time to look through it, and then usually it ended up with me looking through it in class when I was supposed to be doing something else, and as you can see, the teacher did not appreciate that. And so, yeah, I thought it was so neat that she did that. It's the little things that the students appreciate. For 4th grade, I observed Miss Hogue. She was one of my favorites. She was so friendly, and she talked with me about, what they're doing. Her schedule had recently changed, like right before school started, so she was still in the middle of planning all that out. But she talked with me about college and school, and she was going to school for her PhD, and so she talked to me about that. But my favorite thing about observing her was probably watching how encouraging she was to the students. She told each and every single one of those students they each will go to college. She showed that she believed in them and supported them, and told them that they can do anything they want. Whether they wanted to go be a doctor or teacher or anything, she was very supportive towards their goals and told them that they will achieve it. And I thought that was so neat that she did that to every single student, especially. For 5th and 6th grade, I observed Searcy Southwest Middle School. For 5th grade, I observed Miss Cooper. The day I observed her, it was kind of like a catch-up day for the students. They were finishing up assignments that they didn't get to finish, from the few days beforehand. And then they were also finishing up their science report. And she had something on the board that said, it was something they could follow to make their report kind of like that. Also, she split the class into groups of 2 and told them to choose their top 3 favorite explorers from a list. And that is how they chose their explorer for their project. I really like how she handled that and how she told them to pick 3. Because I remember as a kid, I wouldn't think to pick 3. I'd only pick my favorite. And then when my favorite was chosen, I was left scrambling at last minute, being like, oh my gosh, who do I choose? Also, another thing I enjoyed about her class was that she put her passwords on the board. Well, not her passwords, but the class passwords on the board for websites. That way, they didn't have to memorize it or write down on a sheet of paper and then lose that paper and scramble for it. They could just look up on the board, and there it was. For 6th grade, I observed Miss Humphrey. I loved her classroom layout. She had so many books in there of every genre, and it was crazy the amount of books. But the day I was there, they were going over past responses for the ACT Inspire, and they were going over, what to do and what not to do. One of the responses were very short. It was just about a sentence or so, and the students were laughing at it because they thought, it didn't make sense, and they were just making fun of it. And although they don't know who the peer was that wrote it, even though the peer wasn't there to hear or see their responses to it, she still told them not to laugh at it because that is somebody's work, and she said it's a learning experience. We all learn. And I appreciated how she did that because the students, they definitely stopped laughing and making fun of it, and they listened, and they started seeing it as a learning experience rather than oh, haha, who wrote this? For my exceptional observation, I observed at Lone Oak Exceptional School in Cabot, but it's not part of the Cabot district. It's on its own. It's not part of the Cabot Public School District. I observed Miss Jessica and Miss Stephanie's pre-K class. I loved the students, and I loved their classroom. Their students were so friendly, and just very sweet to me, and they were very sweet to the students as well. I liked how they had like a color of the day and the letter of the day, and they also sang songs. They would sing, a good morning song and include everybody's name in it, and then they would sing a color song. Also, they sang songs for their Christmas program to rehearse for it. And I thought that was really neat and, of course, helpful to the students because it helps them memorize it. And there were also hand motions they went over with the students. Of all my classes, I don't think I have a favorite because I enjoyed them all at the same level. I loved observing these classes. Those are the 8 classes I observed. Thank you.